Seeking Freedom by Daniel Schulman is a history feature that talks about real people and real events from the recent past or long ago. History features often contain cause and effect relationships about important events and ideas. We're going to be reading about how people throughout history have searched for freedom and found it in different ways. A plan for freedom. The people who built the government of the United States more than 200 years ago knew that freedom was important. They wrote on paper their ideas for a free country. This paper is the Constitution, and it explains how the government should work. Part of the Constitution is the Bill of Rights. It lists freedoms that all Americans share. People who have freedom also have responsibilities. Our responsibility is knowing that others have rights too. We should not hurt others or break the law, but we are free to make choices. This image shows the beginning of the U.S. Constitution. The actual document, including the Bill of Rights, is several pages long. Some additional laws or amendments have been added more recently. The Constitution explains the powers of the U.S. government. It became law in 1789. The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments or changes to the Constitution. The amendments protect the rights of every U.S. citizen. They were added in 1791. Some freedoms in the Bill of Rights. We have the freedom of speech. This means that people can say what they think without fear. People can also disagree with one another or the government about what should be done. Freedom of the press. This means that news reporters can tell the news as they see it. This helps people understand events and form their own opinions. Freedom of religion. People can choose their religion. In free countries, there are often many different religions. Seeking freedom. Some countries do not have laws that protect people's freedoms. What do people in those countries do to find freedom? Sometimes people leave their homes. They might move to a country with more freedom, but this can be very hard. People who move to a new country might have to learn a new language and way of life. Reasons to leave home. Millions of people have left their homes in search of freedom. Often, they want freedom to practice their religion or the freedom to pick their leaders. People move for freedom of speech and freedom of the press. People also move because they want a better education or jobs. People who have moved for freedom. English, 1600s. The Pilgrims began to leave for the Americas in 1620. They left England because they were not allowed to practice their religion. Germans, 1930s. Many Germans, especially Jews, left Germany because of a cruel government. They moved to other countries to find freedom. Cubans, 1960s. Many Cubans left their island country in the 1960s. They left because their government did not allow them to pick their leaders. Vietnamese, 1970s. Many people from Vietnam left to escape war. People there were also not free to speak out or to choose their work. Here is an image of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in jail for speaking about freedom. Working for freedom at home. People do not always leave their country to find freedom. Sometimes they struggle for it at home. That happened in South Africa. About 20 years ago, South Africa had a system called apartheid, which means separation. Apartheid was a set of unfair laws. These laws took away freedom from some people because of the color of their skin. Nelson Mandela fought against apartheid. He was even jailed for speaking out, but he won. Apartheid laws were changed. Like many others, Mandela thought freedom was worth fighting for. Students speak out. In 1989, thousands of Chinese students gathered in Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China, to peacefully protest unfair laws. They wanted more freedom from their government. The students did not succeed because China's government sent in the army to stop the students. Hundreds of students were killed. People in China still do not have many freedoms. Students in Tiananmen Square carried signs asking for fair laws. The right to vote. People in the United States have struggled for the freedom we have now. For many years, women could not vote, and they did not have the same rights as men. Women who wanted to vote began to join together. They held meetings and protests. Some were even arrested and jailed. On August 26, 1920, women in the United States finally gained the right to vote. This image shows the suffrage badge that was produced around 1910 to encourage women to fight for the right to vote. And this image is in the early 1900s when women protested to gain the right to vote. The photo shows Mrs. Herbert Carpenter leading a march on Fifth Avenue in New York City to gain women's rights. Freedom for all. African Americans in the United States did not always have the same freedoms as other Americans. Many were kept from voting. Some were not allowed to go to good schools. Others were not allowed to use or enjoy the same things as white people. In the 1960s, people protested. They said African Americans should have the same rights as all Americans. These protests helped change the laws. On August 28, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke to more than 200,000 people during the March on Washington to demand equal rights for all citizens. The search for freedom continues. Today, freedom is spreading around the world. Until recently, people in Afghanistan had very few freedoms. Women were not allowed to go to school or work, and they could not be seen in public. Men were punished or killed if they did not follow the government rules. Countries around the world helped the people of Afghanistan. Now, they have important rights and a new constitution. It says that citizens have the right to vote. They can choose who will stand up and speak for them. The new constitution says that girls can go to school. It also says that women can work and move freely in public. All around the world, people seek freedom to make their own choices. And this image shows girls in Afghanistan who now have the right to go to school.